to get this party started. All right, let's talk about how to make things look kind of cool in Unity. So that first off, that is a huge question. That's like, so how does do art and be good at art? Well, practice and a lot of effort and time and stuff. But what I can do is show you some tricks in Unity, how to get like the white off the canvas of a Unity level, right? So I'm going to be doing this next exercise here with an assumption that you know some of how Unity works, right? But I'm not going to do a quick overview on how to do all that. I'm pretty sure Josh just covered a lot of that. But what we're going to have here instead is I'm just going to make a new project. Let's do Global Game Jam 2022. This might low-key be the thing that I actually edit my game for. Hold on. What? First off, let me see what installs I have here. I've got 2020 LTS. I don't have a newer LTS. I've got to fix that. So, okay, well, we'll do 2019 for now, but it'll be fine. Okay. New.
I actually have a request.
Hmm?
Is it possible for you to stream your screen instead of through, unless that's what you're doing already? 'Cause,
Um,
I've noticed that the quality is a bit nicer when you
yeah.
do the stream outright.
If I do that, the recording will be worse. So
Okay.
I could try. You might just have dual of what I have here. I think that that's actually okay. I think I can still pull this off. Hold on. Share. Stream my screen share. Well, you won't have my overlay. I hope that that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Cool. Can you see it okay? Is it okay? Yay.
Yeah, it's a little bit crisper.
Coolsies. Yeah, no problem. Is Unreal taking its sweet time? Probably. Oh yeah, it's thinking. You can't see it, but it's importing scenes. It's actually loading everything right now. Okay. Anybody else uncomfortable with awkward silences?
Yes, but I refuse to talk anyway, usually.
Well, thank you for helping me out. Okay, look at that. I've got an Unreal, or I mean a Unity. I've got a Unity in front of me. I miss your voice, by the way. Okay. So, let's see here. All right. Firstly, this is hideous. I think the first thing you should do is get that hideous default sky out of here. But well, okay, some of you might be like, geez, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it's got a sun. That's kind of cool. Well, I mean, I don't know. Even just giving it a sun down is even better than I'd say whatever default this is. Because the thing is that a lot of people will make a game and this default sky will be on the background. And it is the telltale for sure sign that like even the bare minimum of fixing this was off the table. And I gotta tell you, that a lot of Unity's lighting that happens here, the atmospheric lighting that happens, is informed by the sky map. So, for example, let me just go ahead and bring in an asset, and we'll talk about it. Game object, 3D object, handy dandy cube, our old buddy cube. Firstly, the real-time lighting that happens when it is not considered a static mesh is fine, and you might believe that it's okay as is. And maybe for your style it is, and that would be okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and click static on our little guy here, and then switch over here to lighting, and go down to auto generate lighting. And what's gonna happen is that now it's going to actually calculate a lighting bake that is informed by the lighting of the sky. So it'll look a little bit different here in a minute. I'm actually gonna go ahead and make some more assets here so we can see them together. Here. Big. Just see how they interact with each other. Oh, there it goes. It's starting to think now. Woo! Also static. Cool. All right, so now it's taking into account all this other light that's happening, including bounce light from underneath. And I want to actually change this sky. I don't like it very much. There's a few different ways to do that. Now, you're going to want to apply materials to assets, just like you would anything else, like a 3D mesh, a sky. If it's renderable, it can have a type of material. Types of materials usually referred to as shaders. Won't go into like weird, crazy shader math or anything like that, but let's go ahead and create that folder. Global Game Jam 22. Pop that in here. We're going to make a material. The first material I want to make it as a sky. I want a sky material. That's the first thing I want to change. I just hate it. Let's fix it. So if I right click in the project folder, in the project tab, in a folder of my choosing, the one I just made, I go to create. I can find material right here. Okay, so I will call this Jam Sky. All right, that's fine. Well, the thing is that by default, Unity gives us a standard shader, meaning it is interpreting light as if it was going to hit an object. And that means light will bounce off of it. It could cast a shadow. It's shading it in such a way. And this is very basically essentially what you see on the cube right now. I don't want that. So I have to switch it, not standard, because this isn't something that I want lit normally. It's something that I want to light, be used in the sky and to light other things. So if I click standard underneath shader, I can go down to skybox. If I click that, I've got 4 options. Now, if you ask me, from top to bottom, it starts off with weakest to coolest looking. 6-sided means that we actually import an image for each side of what would be considered a cube that would render on the sky. So you'd actually have to have all 6 of those textures. I would say at a minimum 3 that you could have repeating, probably 4. It's nice. That means you can draw images and basically make that sky almost anything that you want. But if I drop this down here, go back to Skybox, Cube Map, we actually have to generate a cube map to make. Those are fantastic. Require a little bit more work and know-how, so we're going to skip that. And next is, I think, my 2 preferred favorites. Panoramic, which is an illustration that you can bring in, or a panoramic 360 image, which could work, or a procedural. Procedural is what you see at the default sky. The procedural sky allows you to actually make changes procedurally to simulate an atmosphere. So we'll start with that and kind of just play around with it. Now, once I've got the scene up, if I click lighting, I can change the default skybox to my Jam Sky. I'm gonna move that over to the mail now. Okay, did it. Now that I got the Jam Sky in there, if I click selected down here, go back to inspector, I can now alter and change the features of this particular sky. So I'm gonna look at the sun because the sun is right there. I got high quality sun size. I can make it enormous, like we're about to be enveloped in some weird apocalyptic scenario. or I can just make them gone completely. I'll give it, I don't know, somewhere in the middle. Sun convergence. This is that's a little much. I don't know how I would word that. Maybe you have a better way of describing what convergence means than I do. I'm bad with words. So I don't know. I was like, that makes it look bloomier, I guess. Make it bigger and then make the convergence small and the big. Oh, geez, that's huge. Okay. But I mean, you could play around with this, with the sky shape here, the sun. It's cool. Atmospheric thickness. This is kind of fun because this is what feels like if you were going to be on the moon, which would have no atmosphere, and you just go nothing. Yeah, I imagine that that's what the moon would look like, right? If we have intense atmosphere, thick, full atmosphere, something like there was a fire in California that moved its way up to Seattle, and everything, and the sun looked like the Eye of Mordor. We can increase that, and now we're starting to simulate thicker atmosphere, very thick atmosphere. So it can kind of get this weird apocalyptic inferno sort of vibe happening here. Already, even just a little bit of change here will go a long way towards making your game look and feel a little less basic, you know? So that's one of the things I really wanted to do. I'm gonna come back to Earth a little bit with the type of sky we'll have here. And I think I'm gonna make the sun a little bit, a little bit smaller. But not because I like this color of blue. I think that you could actually play around with this whole intensity a little bit differently. So if you click on Sky Tint, we can actually, I like to, just to prove a point, I'm going to crank this up to the highest saturation of color. And then if I kind of, you can see that I can actually really change the look and feel of this sky. Oh my gosh. That's weird. Let's play with the ground too. Oh my. All right. See what's happening now? You can see that the orange glow from underneath is bounce lighting onto the boxes, and the blue from the top is hitting the top. I can actually. Okay. Now this is not actually a sky I think that anybody might make looking. I don't know, maybe you would. Maybe you'd like that. I don't know. Maybe. I'm gonna play around with it some more. I feel like there are more interesting kind of, so I'll see, this feels like more ocean to me, kind of. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna play around with this a little bit. Oh yeah, Blue Lagoon, pretty. Okay, atmospheric thickness. Oh, see, now this feels like a beach scene now. The color and the light can do a lot for the mood. Yeah? Do I have a question? Oh, no? Okay. Keep going. All right. Okay. Finally, I'm going to share with you what if you like, I want to paint my sky. I want my own cool, interesting sky. Well, what I don't know that I can do within 15 minutes is do a quick illustration of a sky painting, but I can show you how you can apply an image to a sky, and how it might actually, something. Maybe. Let me look up a panorama 360 image. I don't know. Images. Why not? I don't know. Let's look at some stuff. Pull up clouds, maybe. Clouds. They're illustrations. Oh, some of these are kind of cool. Sure, this guy, no, I don't know. These are not good, but I'll grab one anyway, okay? So we'll grab one. I think I have some skies in here that I can just get really quick. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Package manager. You could also purchase assets on the asset store, just like you can in the marketplace. Some things are free. I feel like the ones that are free though are not I don't know, the best. That's, I think, how it usually goes. Oh no, I gotta log in. Can I just log in?
You get what you pay for?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That work? Holy cow! First try! I never remember my passwords. Okay, this is one of my favorite packs. This is Cartoon Stylized Hdr Sky. I'm gonna import that really quick, bring them in, and show you what I mean. You can paint them. Just paint them in Photoshop and drop them in, and it's the coolest. It's just the coolest. So if you enjoy illustrating skies, this is gonna be a cool thing that you can do. I do enjoy illustrating skies, but I just don't think I can do it in 10 minutes.
Not sure how long this import's going to take, but kind of a question that was asked in the earlier workshop. Do you have any suggestions when sharing Unity projects with groupmates, or how we should, collaborate online?
So, if you have, I think it's a pro version or the educational version, you can get Unity Collab and have a source control that you could share projects with. It's a little bit more technically, requires a little bit more tech savvy, and you have to have that type of license. But if you don't have that type of license, sharing Unity packages is pretty sufficient in bringing assets in. Now, if you're working, say, with an artist, you probably don't even need to go that route if they want to build the asset and then give it to somebody to put it into the level. However, if you have somebody who's familiar with Unity and would like to build the asset, apply the material, and do some fun stuff with shaders, then the package way is really going to go a long way. A package is basically, it's like a Unity proprietary zip file that will hold all of the assets that are being used in a particular project and place them accordingly into the repo of another project. So if I were to make a, let's say a package out of this sky, it would zip up Global Game Jam 2022 in a folder, save my asset, the material that I made, hypothetically any other files it's touching or using, and zip it right up as something you can import into another project. Pretty easy stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the source control? Do you know if the source control that's built into Unity with the Pro version does that piggyback off of GitHub, or would GitHub be a good alternative to it?
GitHub would be an okay alternative to it if you're not using any large file shares, like light bake maps or large texture maps. GitHub has an LFS for large file sharing plugin that you can use, which was literally its answer to this specific problem for Unity specifically. And it's okay. It's just okay, but it's an added complication to any Git repository you'll make. Yeah. So if you're not doing any big art, then yes, it would be fine. Okay, woo, got that in here. So now you can see here, I've got a couple of materials that were already made, but these are the HDR files, HDRI files. Boop, boop. Let's see here, standard art. I'm gonna drop in one of these materials, and if we look at, oh, those are mirrors. Cartoon skies. Let's look at this guy. I'm gonna just drag him in. Oh, so pretty. Okay, we have one of these materials created here. If I look in the inspector. That's cube map. Oh, we got the cube maps in here. It's very interesting. Usually the files I thought were here too, but I don't know why they're not. Show me in the Explorer. Materials. Here we go. Skies, PNGs. Literally just PNGs that can be converted into a sky map. Perfect. That's the same one. So you could illustrate clouds in such a way that would let you apply into a seamless mesh here. I would actually start with just, like if you're going to do this illustration, just start with the horizon and the fall off of the atmosphere, and do a lot of, I guess you could say, like offset, horizontal offset with your illustration so that they continue to be to stay seamless. And it's actually not quite as hard as you might think. But like you could, I never mean that. I never mean to do that, Unity. Never. But you can illustrate images here and convert them straight to skies. Easy peasy. To do that is to literally make a material just like we did before, but instead of using the procedural sky, you would create click panorama and drop that texture right in here. That's all you got to do, and it will make something like that. Super neat. Okay. Okay. See, what was my next? What was the next thing? Oh, I've got 10 minutes. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about other types of materials, like glowy materials and things that we can do to make stuff look kind of glowy and neat. Yeah? Hope so. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead, right click, material. Boop. I'm going to call this red. It's going to be my red material. It's not red yet. I have to make it red. Click and drag that onto my cube so that we can see it actually be red. Now, once I've got the material created in the inspector tab, this is where I can do all of my magic. Just most game engines operate in a similar way. There's a tab that you can do all of your edits. I'm going to go ahead and click this little color box if it's not super intuitive and scooch this puppy right on over to red. And you'll see that right away, I'm getting some pretty cool bounce effects because these are still set up as static meshes. These are not static meshes. That goes away because it can't necessarily calculate that much light happening. So you only want to do this with objects that aren't moving. If your object is moving, like a character, or you've got a little thingy animating, then don't mark it as static, right? I am marking this as static though, so that it can catch all that cool bounce light. Ooh, look at that pretty glow. That's nice. And we can play around with, I'm gonna actually make this a little bit darker. Exposure down so that we can see how this will work. Ooh, that's pretty. Now that I've got my red here selected, I'm gonna play around with some other features. We can make it metallic, scooch this puppy up here. Oh, that looks fun and shiny, weird. Smooth, make it less metallic, but smooth. You could see, ooh, I honestly think a sphere is going to actually replicate this a little bit better or show a cooler effect. So let's bring a sphere. Woo, woo. Yeah, very shiny. Next thing I'd like to show, one of my favorite things is the emissive glowy stuff. Emission right here, you have to first turn it on before you can edit it. Now, once I have, nothing's really changed. And the thing is I'm actually gonna move these back to white. Even though I want these to glow red, I don't necessarily want the object itself to be red. So if I come over here now, if a light is glowing the color black, it's really not glowing anything. So I'm going to go ahead and pump this up to red. And now I've got this other cool feature here. I can actually make it less intense or more intense based off of just where it starts. In this middle of the ground, it's kind of cool, but I'm gonna make it intenser. Now it doesn't make it more red, it just makes it brighter. So you can really see that this scatter that's happening here can go even further. Oh yeah, all right. Now, I'll go ahead and turn this guy red again so that we can really see. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna make a new one. Create, new material. We're gonna call this, green. Red light, green light. I'm gonna put this one on the cube. I'm gonna do the same effect that I did with the red. Turn on emission. Make this here, but I'm gonna pop it over here to green instead. Now what will actually happen now is that these colors will still show up for each other. I would like, I think, to create a little bit of shadow so we can really see these colors glow. Yeah. Boop. Oh. I think it's thinking. Oh, you're not marked as static. That's part of it. See, it wasn't showing up. That's why, because it wasn't static. All right. I think, yeah, it's baking. And what happens too, you might notice that my stream starts to get a little slow when it bakes. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Probably turn that down now. Ooh. There we go. They will mix with each other if you do give it some time. Okay. All right, that's about all the time I have to kind of show you some quick ins and outs to like make this game look not like a Unity plain default sky thing, and how you can get some cool effects by switching your stuff to static and letting it auto bake. Now, these lighting bakes can get a little out of hand pretty quickly, so you might want to wait until near the end before you'd even try a bake fully, unless it's a pretty small scene. Also, you don't have to bake everything. You know, just sometimes maybe just a little bit here and there will go a long way without having to set everything to static. Okay? All right. I hope that was helpful and that y'all had fun with me. I'm happy to show you some more tricks like post-processing effects. You want to get that cool chromatic aberration? I will happily show you how to make your game look weird and funky when you get to that point. either in Unreal or Unity, whatever you want to do. Okay. All right. Happy jamming, guys. It's 5 o'clock. I think we're good. I think we're ready.